So today we got a lot of new information regarding some of the features in Call of Duty World War II. Reddit user howiexsavior managed to get a digital issue of Game Informer for the month of September. And in this article, they detailed several things about the single-player campaign, zombies, and even multiplayer. So first of all, Michael Condrey definitely confirms that variants will be in the game. However, the subtitle of this section clearly states that it's cosmetic loot. So Michael Condrey says the following: you get to Legendary and it's black ebony wood that's been stained, or maybe an ornamental weapon that a general could have behind his desk. He then goes on further to state, the epic weapons that are the rarest are customized with appropriate elements. For example, the STG-44, the iconic German assault rifle, the epic version has an Iron Cross paint job. So within that quote, he mentions a legendary as well as an epic variant, both cosmetic only according to the article. There likely will be a common and rare category as well. Also of note in the article is a new loot item mentioned, which is also cosmetic. It's called a Sweetheart Grip. According to the article, soldiers would take and replace their pistol grips with a piece of plexiglass, and behind that they would put pictures of their loved ones. So it sounds like you can swap out grips and put pictures of something on them, maybe even using your custom emblem. Now as for the new headquarters social space, there's a bit of news about this as well. According to the article, headquarters will be massive and set 3 days after D-Day. It says headquarters will give you many options for spending time in between multiplayer rounds. You'll be able to open loot chests in front of other players to increase your social score, as well as take on other players in the pit, which is a new 1 vs 1 space. It also says that there's proximity-based voice functionality, making it easy to casually chat with other players. Now we already know about the firing range, but it mentions that you can challenge other players to a shooting gallery contest and see who winds up with the higher score. Next, it mentions rewards for daily and weekly quests in the headquarters space that gives you mini missions on location or that send you out into the multiplayer matches. According to this, the more you participate in the social features, the more you stand to gain from supply drops that contain cosmetic loot. So apparently, it says that if you open something, quote, really cool, everyone sitting around you watching stands to score prizes as well. Also of note, it says that in headquarters you can check your mail, inspect other players, smash your emote buttons, and watch live streams or tournaments inside the theater room. If you run into a friend in headquarters, it says you can easily group up and go to play zombies or multiplayer. You can also kick a few objects around, find a place to sit and watch a 1 vs 1 pit match, or experiment to find the perfect weapon for you. Lastly, it says that dynamic events are coming to headquarters as well, and the example they give is an aerial scramble that drives players to anti-air guns to fend off the base from an enemy aircraft. Now as for divisions, it mentioned a few things most of you probably know already. Perks are gone and replaced with division skills and basic training skills. It also mentioned that each division has special weapon unlocks, which we also knew about. It gives an example of the infantry division, and states that you gain the ability to melee with a bayonet. As a beginner, you have a melee bayonet stab, but by the end of your progression, you have a bayonet charge. So it appears they gain a bit of strength as you level up. Now here's the new information. It says that at the end of a division progression, a unique weapon awaits. And you can bring that weapon outside the division after unlocking it, but then it mentions you won't be able to take your division skills outside of it. For example, the suppressor is an airborne division skill, but the unique weapon unlock for that division is the Thompson machine gun. So while you're running the airborne division, you have that suppressor. And if you want to take the Thompson outside of that division, you can, but you won't be able to take the suppressor, just the Thompson. So this is great news for those that thought each weapon would stay in a certain division. Just level up the division in full, and you can take that unique weapon to other divisions. It also mentions that each division has its own signature look. For example, you'd recognize a Mountain Division player by the ghillie suit. The article also states that Kill Confirmed as well as Hardpoint are returning. Now as for the single player campaign, it says that it takes place in the European theater from 1944 to 1945. You play a 19-year-old Texan named Private Ronald Red Daniels, fresh out of boot camp with a lady at home. It says that mechanics focus on your squad and there's no health regen or free ammo. Instead, your squad mates will provide health and ammo packs for you. There's also a new feature called Heroic Actions, which are events for players during the campaign. Examples of this are listed as dragging soldiers through a fire or saving a pinned ally. It also confirms that you can play as the US Army, the British Special Operations Executive, and the French Resistance Fighters. The article also says that there will be swastikas in the campaign only. It mentioned that Sledgehammer Games debated heavily on the inclusion of these in other game modes, but decided against it. Now as for zombies, there appears to be loadouts and a function similar to the perk system. It mentions 4 core classes that are available to use, including offense, control, support, and medic. There's also special abilities in zombies, sort of like the power-up system. An example given was unlimited ammo for a short time. It also mentioned that super zombies and mini-bosses will return, and that the Easter eggs are the hardest thing ever in zombies. Now there's more about zombies listed in the article, which I'll link in the description for all you dedicated zombie fans. Now lastly, they asked the Activision CEO if he'd consider something other than an annual mode for Call of Duty. For example, maybe a new Call of Duty every 2 to 3 years instead of every year. And his response, more or less, is that Activision loves the yearly model. However, they're starting to understand that more players want one game to stick with for more than a year. So they're going to try to evaluate how the Call of Duty cycle works and see if it's beneficial to make changes or not. So overall, everything in this article sounds pretty damn good, and it only further increases my desire to play the game. My favorite part would definitely be the ability to take a gun out of a specific division and into another one. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to the most. I, for one, can't wait to try out this new headquarters feature.